Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first week of this season of the AAOL. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Swift here with Queso. Hi, Queso.
Hello, how are you?
And I'm good. I'm alright. So this evening, our first, well, we've had a 7 o'clock game, so we're now in the 8:30 slot, and we're watching here NoC Academy against Wollongong Typhoon, who have my favourite name in this competition.
Yeah, I'm from Wollongong, so no bias here, but I'll be cheering for my hometown team.
Alright, so it's going to be NoC Academy here running with Far Mercy. Well, very different comp on the side of Wollongong Typhoon, and it's used Force taken out first on Hanzo, and Marlow goes in for the res, but it doesn't pay off because the Mercy does get taken out, and it's going to be a pretty clean fight win for the side of NoC Academy. Well,
you needed a doctor?
Well, yeah, we're definitely seeing the power of the dive is alive and well, and Wollongong Typhoon, you know, perhaps thinking that the Brigitte slow comp can always work in their favour, but you know, I think that we undervalue dive in this meta, and we're seeing the power of it here.
Good old-fashioned Far Mercy as well.
Well, yeah.
The Hanzo Brigade are very powerful at the moment, but it's not very powerful against a Pharah, it has to be said. So it'll be the Typhoon looking to come in here, but they're not going to get very far because that Pulse Bomb from Johnny Boy on Tracer finds the McCree and the Hanzo. Resurrect doesn't really matter because NoC Academy cleaning the rest of them up, and it's going to be a late death there for Thrillhouse on the Reinhardt. So NoC Academy, these guys are the academy team of NoC Predators, who have recently finished competing in Season 1 of Contenders AU, where they finished 8th place. Well, that's just going to rub salt into the wounds of Wollongong Typhoon, that concussion kill onto the Zarya.
What I'm liking is how NoC Academy are able to get the picks that they need to at the start of fights to delay any meaningful team fights from actually taking place. The double kill with the Pulse Bomb from Johnny earlier was really shut down that fight with one ultimate. Really good economy in that front.
And well, that Rocket Barrage pays dividends for the Liz given, as he's able to get 3 quick kills, and there's not really much that Wollongong Typhoon are able to do to take this point in the end. Earth Shatter does come out there, but Thrillhouse isn't really able to get anything for it, so that'll be an easy round 1 take here on the first map.
Yeah, that barrage is really what I was talking about. The DPS getting really significant picks straight up. You know, before the fights even happened, they're already in there. They're already taking down the Wollongong Typhoon lineup, and you know, continually winning the fights before Typhoon's even in a position to really engage. So very assertive and dominant display from Academy. See them well if they keep that up.
So compositions are changing up a little bit here from both sides as we're now heading inside. I've got a little bit of background here on the Wollongong Typhoon team. They were formed about a month ago. They're a group of university students who competed in the Australian Esports League University Cup. So they've got a little bit of tournament experience under the belt, and they finished 3rd in that competition. So obviously up against quite a formidable opponent here in NoC Academy, who have been around a little bit longer. So Ella's able to get that first initial pick onto Thrillhouse. And Ella on the Zenyatta is actually able to get 2 kills to start things off here. And, another swift fight win there from NoC Academy. It seems like they're having trouble finding a way in, Queso.
Definitely. What we see a quite substantial cause of these team wipes is the positioning of Antibus on that main tank with Ryan. He's constantly in a position that splits the NoC Academy roster. Half of them are between him and his team, and that is just continually putting Wollongong Typhoon at a disadvantage.
And and that Earth Shatter, not really necessary, but why not use it? Antibus is charging those Earth Shatters quite quickly as well. I guess everyone on the side of NoC Academy is charging their ults quite quickly because, well, they're just dominating.
And they're not committing multiple ults to fights. They're committing exactly how many you need to win the fight, and it's won a fight. It looks like, and that's what's been really good.
Yeah.
Not really committing.
Wollongong Typhoon just responding a little bit, deciding to change up the team composition slightly. Volprov's just switched on to that Doomfist.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty impactful. If Doomfist can get behind, take out the supports of NoC Academy, then you can really open yourself up to a successful push. Taking out, supports mean that Antibus will be in a train rock and a hard place.
And that's the Graviton Surge coming out early from Yellow Spray, comboed with that Dragon Strike from Johnny Boy. And it's a very successful combo with those two ults. They're able to end the team fight quite easily. And Volprov been on the Doomfist for a little while, having trouble charging his ultimate, which, fair enough, they're having trouble making it past this choke. So there are some ultimates online here for Wollongong, but they are going to need to use them soon as the clock ticks up, and that's, well, not much that they're going to be able to do now after that big Riptire. They are contesting the point. Volprop on that Doomfist. He's getting a little bit low and he has fallen. There's not much that he's going to be able to do underneath the point, and that's a big Earth Shatter coming in from Thrill House as well. So Volprop's able to get back up and does kill the opposing Mercy. He's just got the Meteor Strike after getting three quick kills now, so Volprop looking to single-handedly turn around this team fight. And he's doing a pretty good job so far. He's on 4 kills, and I think maybe, just maybe, Wollongong Typhoon are able to take the point, even if it's just for a moment. And Volprov, their captain, putting in a lot of work in that case, so.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. Each fight, it's not as hopeless as it looks, A clean team fight is still an opportunity to regroup, and that's what they did. They were down a couple from that Riptire early on, but they kept on going. They didn't give him too much space, and they managed to control the point.
Antibus does get an important early kill, but that kill on the Mercy is traded off, and both teams are currently on 4 players. Well, both teams on 3 players at the moment. Johnny Boy must have fallen off the map there or something, so not many people around to take part in this fight, so they both might group up a little bit. And that's what Wollongong are counting on, is they want to build up that control percentage. So NoC Academy looking for an in here onto the point, and that's a Graviton Surge coming out from Yellow Spray, comboed with that Dragon Strike once again. Doesn't find anything this time.
Well, fortunately, yeah, that Transcendence came out clutch there, managed to keep everyone healed, and NoC wasn't in a position to actually capitalize.
So NoC Academy the upper hand here in this fight, as they do get the early kills. The Liz Given really doing work there on that Junkrat, and I don't think Wollongong will be able to respond, but that looked pretty good in that second round. They certainly looked a lot better as they were able to find their way in and hold the point for a little while.
Yeah, at the end I feel it came a little bit down to some compositional issues. Doomfist is good if you can get into that backline undetected, but on a sort of tight corridorsy map like this, your footsteps can be heard pretty significantly, and using those Doomfist abilities, uppercut and all that, make a lot of noise, so it kind of can be hard to get a sort of flanking position, sneak in and take down the supports silently. So perhaps they could think about the comp that they're running, but otherwise I think it was quite a successful second map there, even though they did lose in the end. They managed to get a decent control percentage, and I think that if they play like this and then continue to sort of improve on what they're running and how they're working together as a team, they've still got a very good chance at winning this series.
So I had a chat to Volprov before the match, who is the captain of the Wollongong side, and he did tell me that Doomfist is perhaps one of his most played heroes, so not surprised to see him bring it out, really. And in that situation it was quite good, because he was able to do a lot of carrying on his own, where the rest of the team were perhaps struggling a little bit. So Use the Force on that Wollongong side is primarily their hit scan player. So I think in this break, Wollongong will probably be asking a lot more of him, because they really do need to do something here on this next map, which is going to be King's Row.
Yeah, I really like the map lineup for this stage. King's Row obviously probably one of the only maps in the game that is still, I don't know, liked by everyone, I would suppose. But Oasis as well, quite a balanced control map. And Temple of Anubis, I mean, it's 2CP, what could you do? But again, one of the more straightforward control maps. Not as nuanced as Horizon, as we know, is getting a rework. But I think that from what I've seen, Wollongong definitely has a chance on these additional upcoming maps to make use of perhaps that Doomfist pick with, you know, more flanking routes, more winding sort of curvature natures of these upcoming maps. Definitely King's Row can help with that Doomfist.
Well, the only thing I'm concerned about here for Wollongong is that NoC Academy, their preferred heroes are very, very strong here on King's Row. Liz Given is a primarily projectile player who favours the Pharah, favours the Junkrat. We've seen that so far. Pharah and Junkrat both very powerful on this map.
Oh, definitely.
And Anti-Bus and Yellow Spray, they've been playing so well. Yellow Spray on that Zarya. Zarya is such a good hero on this map as well, especially comboed with a sniper, usually Hanzo. So Johnny Boy has been playing a bit of Hanzo. He's going to start off in the Widowmaker here, and it is going to be NoC Academy on the defense.
I think this map definitely has a lot of strengths for a lot of different heroes, and there's an argument to be made that almost any hero pick is a viable one on King's Row. It's just such a versatile map. Even if they wanted to perhaps break out a Symmetra for faster teleport back to the point, you want to bring out a Torbjorn or a Bastion, combo with an Orisa, all of these things are really viable on King's Row, and I think that if we see a breakout of one of these strats, it's possible for a good victory.
Look, it's interesting here on the defenses. NoC Academy opting for a double sniper defense. That's often something that you'll see in attack, but not as much on defense. So we'll see what they do with it as Wollongong are on the attack side first, and that's a very good initial pick from Volprub. It does get res, so perhaps they're going to try and follow up with another kill because that res is now down for NoC Academy. It does look like that Thrillhouse is sort of found himself caught in the hotel by himself, but that's two really good opening picks on the side of Wollongong. They should definitely be coming in on the point. They do lose Thrillhouse. Liz Given's actually able to get 2 kills, and that's a 3rd kill coming in from Johnny Boy, so what was looking like a really good opening attack is now turned into a disaster because they've just lost 5 members of their team, and it's Mercy alone on the point. How did they turn that one around?
They took too long getting to the point, unfortunately. They were all sort of caught by the they were caught by the bus behind into the hotel theatre, and they just couldn't get to the point fast enough. Unfortunately, they were just too far away.
I can't believe it, and I guess we see the power of the double sniper there is that, well, there you go. So hefty Dragon Strike, but the power of the double sniper in that both of the snipers were able to get to the point quite quickly and recover by getting some what looked like easy picks, and that's how they were able to bring back that defense. So Wollongong Typhoon just resetting, they're poking and prodding.
I would dare say this is not a reset. I think that they need to reset further back. If you're going to try and group up, you want to be out of a position to take the poke. I'm looking at their health bars, and they're all dangerously low going into the actual fight, and that just enables NoC Academy to clean up.
And now I say that they're not really pulling out of the fight once it's lost. They're sort of letting it go on a little bit too long. So they've used up half of their time here on the attack, and I think they could probably have been a bit more clean and had an extra push or two out of it, but we'll see what happens. I felt there that there probably was an early opportunity with Antibus using that Earth Shadow and not really getting anything for it, but unfortunately they were unable to capitalise, and that's an excellent charge Antibus just made on his opposing Reinhardt. And well, why not throw the Graviton Surge just for fun, and the Dragon Strike, even though the fight was already well won.
It's really adding insult to injury there. It's not a great position to be in if you got about a minute left, and your enemy's throwing out ults. But what I am a bit confused on is why they're taking so long to group up and push in as a team, especially considering they have got pretty much all of their ultimates online.
It must be frustrating for them to losing players early on in the fight before they're actually able to do anything. And you see then, I was just about to point out the Liz Given climbing up that wall and poking over the top, getting ready to fire those shots, and did connect onto the Mercy. So it's a failed Riptide there, unfortunately. They've got 5 ults online at the moment, basically, but
I'm not sure what happened to Chimer Ninja there. What?
I think what happened there was he killed himself with his Zarya right click.
That shadow was massively powerful, and it caught 4 members of NoC Academy. No one was there on his team to capitalize. Dragon Blade is popped as Trance comes out. I'm at a loss, Swift. I'm at a loss.
A little bit even at the moment, so let's see if Volprof can do something on this Genji, because if we've seen anything from him so far, it's that he can carry by himself, but he's not going to be able to carry by himself when all of his support players are dead, and that's only going to be 60% on the attack for Wollongong Typhoon. So, from what I'm seeing so far, they're doing a lot of things right, Wollongong Typhoon, considering that they are a relatively inexperienced team. There's a lot of things that I think that they can clean up. And just keep in mind too that this is the first round of the this season of the AAOL, so a lot of these teams will not be matched evenly. So NoC Academy definitely considered to be one of those up there teams. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But I think there's a lot of things that Wollongong can say are looking good, and then a few things that they can work on.
Yeah, Wollongong is. You're right. Wollongong's looking fairly solid. I don't by any means think that they're struggling, but I think that they're just playing a little bit overly cautious, not wanting to commit ultimates, and then when they do commit to a fight, it's unfortunate because they pick the wrong fights. They throw out a Riptide once their 2 members are already down. They throw out a Dragon Blade once the Transcendence has been popped. They need to be a little bit smarter with the fights that they pick to start engaging. And that first fight, where they were looking the strongest, in my opinion, was when they needed to go a little bit harder. But unfortunately, they just took too long getting to the point, and
yeah, well, perhaps what that comes down to is lack of communication. I mean, that would certainly make sense if they are not grouping up or playing as a team. I mean, it doesn't matter how much individual skill these players have if they're not communicating and working together as a team. So perhaps that's something that they can take out of this week and improve on next week.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they'll be stronger for it, no matter what happens.
Alright, so we'll be seeing the Brigitte on the side of Wollongong use the Force, hoping to make a bit of an impact. That's a good opening pick there from Volprov onto the Liz Given. Bit of a troll pick, that Symmetra, I would say.
I don't know, Symmetra attack can be quite powerful on this map, as I said. A lot of flexibility for unusual comps. If you throw down that shield gem, give your team an extra quick maths, but I think that's 450 shields can be quite powerful and help an attacking team get that percentage.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's what NoC Academy are concerned about at the moment. I think they'd be confident in their attack, and well, Johnny Boy is able to take out Volprov in that Widow duel. Mahalo does answer with a kill onto Ana, but it's Antibus with a charge kill onto Use the Force, and I think now what we're seeing is NoC Academy asserting their dominance here, and they should be able to cleanly get just under 2 ticks. I think we are seeing a bit of a troll attack.
Antibus goes for a shadow at spawn.
And the, yeah, well...
This will help.
I think they were being a little bit mean there.
A little bit unsportsman, are you suggesting? I think the thing is that the fights which are perhaps a little bit more skewed towards a certain side are a good opportunity to try new things, and I'm a little bit disappointed they didn't stick with that Symmetra, especially considering...
Yeah, I'm not so sure about the Symmetra being a legitimate one, but...
Oh, she's getting a rework, and I think her power is only going to grow.
Alright, we're gonna take a short break now, as we're about to head into map 3, so we'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us. Alright, welcome back everybody. We're about to head into map 3, and I think it is, well, it's going to be the last map here. I think Wollongong probably, what are they playing for at this stage, Casey?
They're playing for map differential. It's always, it's a little bit like the Overwatch League. It's always, you know, useful because you have to play the 3 maps. It's not best of 3. It's always useful to go a little bit harder on that last map, even if you've lost, because at the end of the day, you know, you're taking a map off your victor, which is a little bit, can rub a little bit of, it can rub them the wrong way. You know, you've put in all that work to try and get the 2-0 win, and then you lose that final map. Can be a bit annoying. So they can definitely get a little bit of the sort of, you know, final just desserts factor. But again, it's mainly the map differential, because at the end of the day, you want to get as many individual map wins rather than overall victories. Victories count for quite a bit, but maps, it's all about the maps.
Yeah, and too, I think, coming back to what I said before, is that, to me, a lot of these players on the side of Wollongong, they seem to have a lot of individual skill, but I think where this team's lacking is with this communication, teamwork, these sorts of things. So let's see what they can bring out on Temple of Anubis, where they will be attacking first. Once again, Interesting to note too that NoC as an organisation been around since January. So, and I think too there's a few people on that team who have been around since then. The Yellow Spray is certainly a veteran of this game and well known in the OCE community. I think it's just coming down to really, for the Gong, their inexperience. And so I think very quickly they're going to find themselves working their way up the AAOL ladder as they figure this out. So NoC Academy setting up their defense here on point A. And of course, we do see that off-meta pick from the list given because why not? I guess is what he's thinking. NoC Academy are in a strong position. He's thinking, well, let's do something a little bit unorthodox because we can. And Yellow Spray does find that initial pick onto Mahalo. Volprov does find Bliss Gibbons' turret and it's quickly restored. Bit of a slow push coming on here. And, well, they might be trying to be a little bit methodical, but Antibus is playing the Widowmaker and we can't hide from him at this stage. This double sniper defense does seem to be favoured by NoC Academy, but they're only running one tank here on this defense, so I think that they are probably feeling a bit cocky at this stage, and that's something that Wollongong can take advantage of. Well, I'm a bit confused why their Winston's currently on the point by himself.
I think it really speaks to the original thing that we were discussing, and
Yeah.
the Wollongong show promise, but they need a little bit of extra time, maybe a few more scrims to work together as a team and know that 1v6 is not going to go in your favour. Certainly not
No, and I mean-
against an experienced team like NoC.
I mean, it's not like Mahalo was even being pressured back there. He could quite have easily have just hidden, waited in the back line for the rest of his team to get ready, and made a dive with the rest of his team except from behind, and that would have probably been quite a successful move. I think he was at an advantage being back there, and them not knowing, so... I'm glad to see that they are taking the time to group up here on this attack. As they do come in, and that Sonic Arrow and that Insta-Sight is going to be very useful for NoC Academy. As the Dragon Strike does come out, and it doesn't find anybody, but Johnny Boy does find something. He finds two people, in fact, with that Storm Arrow on Use the Force, and Volprov does get taken out too on that Doomfist. So, that entrance from Wollongong was ended very quickly, and I think what they need to do now is back out, and that's not what they're doing.
I think, oh no, the Coalescence being committed to a very much lost fight is an interesting choice here, but the fight, yeah, the fight started well, and it just, like, Frizzy got asleep on the ulting Molten Core Torbjorn, and that was really big, but then all of a sudden he was awoken, and they were too busy looking behind them at the Torbjorn.
Now, Use the Force is at the back there by himself, and he was in a similar position that Mahalo was in before, but he gave away his position, so another opportunity there that could have been really advantageous for us that they kind of threw away. It does find that pick onto Johnny Boy though, as they've got 1 minute left to capture this point. But I don't know that they're in a position to do anything at the moment. Oh, it's a little bit frustrating, and I do hope that they, after this match, they do come back and have a look and see what things could have been improved, because I think they will get better, but they do really need to take note of that. Early trade is both sides lose a member here in this team fight. Thrill House is sort of just stormed onto the point with Mahalo, and that is the Coalescence coming out from Thrill House, as well as the Primal Rage coming out from Mahalo. A few other ultimates getting close to building up here as Volprov does get a pick onto Ella on the support, but the trade does come in and the list given is able to take out Volprov as we're about to head into overtime. That's a very important Reds coming out at a time that Diva gets taken out of Mech and Mahalo dies on Monkey, and well, all the kills are coming out here. And Ella's just played so well this evening on that Zenyatta, getting a lot of picks from a long and close range.
Unfortunate
Yeah.
for the Wollongong Typhoon there. I think that it comes down again a little bit to composition, and I was looking at their comp towards the end there, an Ana and a Moira, a Doom Fist, dive tanks. It confuses me a little bit, because I would really strongly advise them to maybe work towards a more conventional comp, because if they had that Hanzo, they had a Grav, they could have been working towards, a really successful attack where, you get all of the members on the point, in that OT, it's getting pretty dire, you grab them all, your dragons. And that is enough, even if you spent 4 minutes doing nothing, just charging up those 2 ultimates. In OT, you get onto the point, you throw out that Grav, you throw out that dragon, and you wipe the team, and that's the power of this, well, I say power, the unfortunate side effect of this meta, that you can get a really cheesy victory towards the end of the game through just the meta picks. And I think that they need to think about what heroes they're playing. And, Moira and Ana, not a great synergistic, support duo there. Maybe they should think about the Mercy for that res.
And
there's often...
I might just add into that Thrillhouse is playing the Moira, and he's their team's main tank, as far as I'm aware. So I'm a little bit confused at them swapping around the roles here too, because it's my understanding that Chimera Nina, I hope I'm saying that right, is their off tank. So they're kind of swapping things off when, well, maybe in actual fact they would be better keeping things static and switching the heroes rather than switching roles around. So Wollongong are looking to make an entrance here, but well, this is something that we don't normally see. Bastion from both the attacking and the defending side. Volprov on the defense against Bastion is able to find a few picks. Johnny Boy is answering on the Doomfist though. And I think that's probably a relatively clean defense. NoC Academy sort of staying at it.
Volprov tearing through the attacking team with that Bastion. Got multiple picks. I think he got about a 4k in that fight alone there. So
very
quite an
close to
effective
configuration tank as well. He's able to block the Doomfist, but Anti-Bust does find Ana in the back line. Johnny Boy does get rezzed, and are they going to be able to find anything with configuration tank? I don't think so.
Fortunately not. And they lose Marlowe in the process.
So, looking a little bit weak now, and Volprov does go down on the Bastion, and I think, well, NoC Academy have found themselves in a winning position here. They've only got to take 1 tick, and I think they're going to do it right now.
They're playing very split there. Half of them were in that room to the back, and half forward. Oh.
There's a lot of things I think Wollongong can take out from this match, and I do hope that they review the VOD of this match, because I think, well, we've highlighted a few things that they can probably look at, but I think they'll find a lot of things that they can say, sit down as a team and think, well, this is something we need to work on, and I think that's probably what they're going to do. So that brings us to the end of our matches here in the first week of this AAOL season. Are we up to season 4 of AAOL now?
Yeah, we are. It's going very fast.
It is. So do be sure to join us again next week, because we are running a lot more streams than last season. So do keep an eye out for that, because you'll be seeing a lot more teams than in the previous 2 seasons of AAOL. I don't think there's anything more from me, Queso.
No, I'm pretty good. It was a good game. It was a good game, and definitely Wollongong has a lot to reflect on, and it's very, very promising. I look forward to seeing them play in maybe a later week, see how they've progressed.
Alright, I'd like to thank Rightline for streaming with us for the first time tonight. Queso, thanks for joining me again on the cast. And I'd like to thank both teams for helping me out with giving some background on both of them before the match. And I do wish Wollongong all the best. So that's all from us here at the AAOL this evening. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night, actually. We've got more matches on tomorrow night. Games that were supposed to be played today have been rescheduled to tomorrow. I believe there's going to be a 7 o'clock game and an 8:30 game, so do join us then. So thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.